I bet you're wondering if expeditions are any good. So was I, so I spent the last 36 hours only doing expeditions and logbooks in solo self-found to test it out for myself. First, I'll tell you everything I learned and that I think you should know. Then I'll go over the raw loot I obtained, how to use the currency that drops from it, and finally, why Expedition is the single best map modifier in the game. Let's begin. The Expedition modifiers and maps look like this, with a bunch of flags and stone things called remnants. There are 3 chest flags, which the bigger one is, the better loot is going to be in them on average. The big red flags have runic monsters in them, they can be magic or rare, and then the small flags just have regular common mobs. And there are dozens of different combinations of remnants, but these have the same relation as prefix and suffix modifiers on waystones, where more danger comes with more reward. The general rule of thumb I use is get as many remnants as possible in your first few explosions, and then focus on flags for your remaining explosions because of the way these remnants work. Remnants only affect current and subsequent enemies and chests uncovered by explosions, so getting the best overall remnant of runic monsters are duplicated, which does literally double the amount of runic monsters. At the end of an explosion chain will only duplicate those last enemies uncovered and not any of the previously uncovered ones. Think 3 explosions for remnants and 2 explosions for flags, or thereabout. Now if you're lucky enough, you'll drop a logbook at the eye level of whatever unit dropped it, and these take you to a whole instance of expedition where you have a lot of explosions and a lot of flags and a lot of reading to do if you want to min-max those areas. And if that logbook is level 79 or higher, it'll have about a 15% chance of spawning the boss remnant that you explode open and go down and fight him. This is the guy that gives you the Atlas Tree passive points. Min-maxing the logbooks is too much information to pass on efficiently, so I won't cover it in this video, but if you have any specific questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comments. Moving on, here's all of the loot I got from doing 50 expeditions in various level 79 maps. And to be honest, it blew my expectations out of the water just from doing those 50. Not shown here are most of the expedition tablets I dropped while doing these, and in the end I dropped 7 total, which allowed me to do almost exclusively maps with expeditions on them. About 95% of the time I was in an expedition map, so find multiple towers near each other and start layering the tablets over each other because their modifiers do stack additively. And now here's all of the loot I got from doing the 14 level 79 plus logbooks added onto it. It's a lot. It's a lot of the expedition currencies specifically, which we'll be talking about soon, and we also found 2 boss encounters in the 14 logbooks, equating to almost exactly 15% of the time. This boss does not count as a runic monster, nor is it affected by the explosion chain modifiers in the expedition area of the logbook. Now about all this expedition currency. All the artifacts are used as currency for a crafting minigame with the various expedition vendors. It's a very good minigame. The black sides are used for jewelry, the orders are used for armor, the broken circles are used for weapons, the suns can be exchanged for any of the other 3 previously mentioned currencies, it's the wild card sort of one, and then exotic coinage is used to re-roll what items the merchants have in stock. Personally, I use up about 1 exotic coinage to 40 of the crafting currencies, and I've ended up dropping many more coins than I need, so use them freely. This crafting minigame is self-explanatory, so test it out for yourself. Generally, you'll be able to make a lot of medium to high tier solo self-found quality gear with this method, so for starting endgame leveling, it is absolutely amazing. Here's the tab of gear I made, all of which have useful affixes and can be crafted further. And here's a few of the highlights of my hour-long crafting session. All of these were made with the currency I dropped from the 50 expeditions and 14 logbooks. Quick piece of advice for this crafting minigame, don't underestimate how much an item can change. Here's just one of many examples because I wanted to see if useless items could become amazing and go from essentially worthless to a solid or even great piece of gear. And about half of these items you see in this stash tab were worthless without a single good affix on them, and now they're entirely usable. You'll understand just how powerful this mechanic is after testing it out on a few items. Once you get used to Expedition and complete them more quickly, this really is the best overall modifier in maps. The amount of extra monster density with tons of experience, quantity, quality, and pack size modifiers even make it outdo Breach a majority of the time. Not to mention the amount of extra waystone, sustain, raw currency drops, and incredible semi-deterministically crafted items, shoring up your overall power of gear. And just a quick fun fact, all of this video was done before I allocated any Atlas passive points for Expedition, and it was already surpassing all my expectations. And it's just Crazy to think how much better this is actually going to get. Take the time to learn this mechanic and you'll be living your best life as an exile. Hope this helps. Stay safe.